this My Cat's Tale, Willa, Nala and Bella, the cats of Tabby and Tuxedo.
Nala is my girl. She's mama's girl through and through. The hand feeding, it was tough, but like I said, it definitely brought us closer as a couple. You don't wish for a pet to be sick, but I wouldn't change it because of the lessons learned and just, bringing us closer as a family.
Joining me now on My Cat's Tale, Allison joins me from Tabby and Tuxedo. And neither of your cats are called Tabby or Tuxedo. That's just confusing me.
Well, so the name Tabby and Tuxedo cat stems from, we do have a tuxedo, Willa. She's our tuxedo girl with her markings of black and white. And then Tabby comes from Nala. So they were our first two cats. And she's not a full tabby. She just has some tabby markings and colorings on her back and her tail. So that's kind of where the name came from when I was kind of thinking of a way to include both of our cats in the name of just who we are and for our social media channels and things like that.
But there's three there because we do have a third cat into the mix as well.
We do. Of course, we had to get a third, little Bella. So she's not technically a tuxedo. She is black and white, so she's close. But yes, she is the little sister. She just turned 2, and she's our little feisty girl. But yeah, of course, I know a lot of cat lovers out there, you know that you can't just stop after 1 or 2. It's hard not to adopt them all. So yes, we have Bella added to the mix to make it 3.
I do love the idea there that you said you had to get a third.
There
is this compelling power with cats, isn't there?
Yeah, they definitely have changed my life. And it's funny because I never grew up with cats in my family. I have 4 siblings, and so come from a larger family, and we always had dogs. But I have a couple, unfortunately, family members that are allergic to cats and things like that you just can't help sometimes. But yeah, we never had cats. And after we adopted Willa, our first cat, she just changed my life in an unexpected way. And I kind of found a love for cats that I never knew that I could have. And so from there, it just grew. And yeah, it's definitely hard to just have one. So yes, then we have Nala and Bella, and yeah, they're just so amazing, and they all have different personalities, which I love, and it makes it so much more fun just to see how different they are. You know, no 2 cats I feel are exactly alike, which makes it even better. And I think too, a lot of times people compare cats and dogs, which I understand, and it's very, they're the 2 common household pets. But what I've come to learn is that they're not really comparable. You can't, they're very different, and they both have their own little special things about them as just animals and pets. And so I think for me, that was kind of a learning thing, not to compare them and just to recognize who they are as animals in their own ways and what they can bring as pets too into our lives.
So there's a step there that I'd really like to talk about.
Yeah.
That step from, I come from a household that has dogs but no pets, and I got Willa. Okay, there's a step there where you must have went, I don't want a cat, I don't want a cat, I don't want a cat, I want a cat. What happened there?
Yeah, well, so my boyfriend now of 6 years, Andrew, he had cats growing up, and we do live in an apartment, and so it's kind of harder to get a dog. We're both animal lovers, dogs, cats, all animals, but we thought let's maybe start with a cat, and it's just easier with our living situation. And so we adopted Willa, and she actually got really sick within the first week of us having her. She stopped eating and drinking. And as some may know who are familiar with cats, that can be so dangerous for kittens. She even lost a little bit of weight. So it was really touch and go We had to kind of nurse her back to health, hand feed her like every 2 hours. We were like, oh my gosh, this is like having a baby, and just taking care of her in those ways. And we didn't weren't sure if she was going to make it, but she pulled through. And just that experience alone, um, just brought so many lessons learned, and just yeah, it just taught us so much about what it takes. And then it showed us how strong she was as an animal and as a cat. And yeah, so it just kind of stemmed from there, to having to deal with her illness.
How did it feel hand feeding this what, couple of weeks old or a little bit older?
She was about 6 weeks old, or so we were told.
So not
Estimated.
much bigger than like a softball or something then.
Yeah, so I believe when we originally got her, she weighed in at 1 pound 3 ounces. And then as she, it was weird because she came to us, she ate and stuff fine, but then after about a week, she stopped eating and drinking, and that's when it kind of went downhill. She lost 2 ounces, so she went down to 1 pound and 1 ounce, which is a lot for that small of a little kitten. So yeah, just the hand feeding. I mean, it was stressful, and it was hard because you're already so in love and so attached to this little kitten. And so we did everything we could. We were at an emergency vet one night, I remember, and we live in Minnesota, so it happened to be in January, and it happened to be -20. And here we are with this little, 1 pound kitten, just carrying her into the emergency vet, not knowing, not really having experience ourselves, obviously, with what was going on. And, the vets were kind of just telling us to keep, just showing her that love and kind of nursing her as you do. And, sometimes they just turn around on their own, which is kind of what she ended up doing after about a day of hand feeding her, which the feeding her by hand was out of a little syringe, where we mixed like some food and water. And so that's how we had to feed her. And yeah, like I said, that was like every 2 hours, small amounts. So we were waking up at night, and it was really just this whole unforgettable, scary experience because, like I said, you're so attached to this little kitten. I know a lot of animal lovers and pet owners can probably relate that you get attached like immediately after you adopt a pet, or they come into your life. So yeah, that was just really stressful, but also a great story of her strength, and just us having to learn all of that and deal with that.
I mean, what did that do to you in terms of a bond, not just to Willa, but also to your boyfriend as well?
Yeah, it definitely brought us closer. We had been dating for, oh gosh, probably a couple years at that point. So not like a newer relationship, but obviously a whole new experience. Like I said, we would like joke like, oh my gosh, now it's like we have a baby, a newborn, where we're having to wake up and feed and take turns. And we each had jobs. And so, just even leaving her alone for a couple hours at a time, like we had to try to coordinate because, um, with just having to feed her and keep an eye on her. So yeah, it definitely brought us closer in terms of like communication, and just having to, yeah, I would say communication and trust. And just, yeah, I mean, it was tough, but like I said, it definitely brought us closer as a couple, and brought us super close to Willa too. She was our baby.
And
She
it
is
really
our
just
baby.
creates this incredibly tight bond between the three of you, and that's
Yes. Oh,
always there. That will still be there now, and I'm sure it will continue to grow. But that immediate, okay, right, I've got a family now.
exactly.
Claws in, I'm not letting go.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not just one of those things where, obviously a pet comes into your life and it's fun and it's supposed to be exciting. And, our journey didn't necessarily start off like that, which is okay because, like I said, I mean, obviously you don't wish for a pet to be sick, but I wouldn't change it because of the lessons learned, and just, yeah, bringing us closer as a family, a new family of three. So it was a very, yeah, good experience, I guess, in that way. And we're just so glad that she had the strength to pull through. And now she's a 4-year old healthy kitty at, oh gosh, she's like 12 pounds, I think. She just got weighed in. So she is, and she's a daddy's girl. So she's attached to Andrew, and she just has this super special bond with him, which is so fun to see every day.
How did that make you feel when you first realized that, oh, I'm second in the pecking order now?
Yeah, no, I mean, she'll lay by me and she'll cuddle, but you can tell that, she's a daddy's girl, and that's okay. I accept it. And it's not like she doesn't like shy away from me or anything like that. But I know that because of his work schedule, when we were hand feeding her as a kitten, he was kind of the one to be home more than I was. Just at the time, that's how it worked out. And so we think it kind of stems from that, where he was creating such close of a bond with her just day in and day out, with literally having to nurse her back to health and hand feed her. So I think from there, that's kind of where their bond started. And yeah, so that's okay. But Nala, our tabby and white cat, is my girl. She's a mama's girl through and through. So it's okay. And it's funny because Bella is like equal. She seems to be, kind of both, and equal attention both ways and all of that. So it kind of works out in that way.
Okay, so talk about Nala then. The tabby of Tabby and Tuxedo, who I see gets their name first in the listing now.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it just kind of it roll. I don't know. It just kind of sounded better to me when I was thinking of names. But yes, Nala is a funny cat. She's very talkative. Um, she's our bigger cat. I mean, she's probably 17 pounds. So she's a little on the heavier side, but no, she loves her food. Whenever we cook, Nala's in the kitchen with us, and so she is just, and she will let you know. She'll talk about, like, she's just so talkative, and she'll follow me around our little apartment, whether I'm just, going from the living area to the kitchen or the living room to the bathroom. She's right by my side, and she'll like lay out in the hallway while I'm in the bathroom and wait for me. And then she'll walk back with me to the bed and cuddle. And so she just holds such a special place in my heart. She kind of came into our lives when I personally was struggling with some anxiety and mental health things in my life. And so I was home a lot with her as a kitten, and she it's like she knew when I was having a bad day. She knew when I wasn't feeling my greatest, and she still does, where she'll come and just lay on my lap, and I'll just be like, this is amazing, because it's, maybe I haven't had the best day, or I'm feeling a little down. And it's amazing how much animals can just read that from you and know and provide that support. And that has just been something that I has just amazed me and continues to amaze me, especially with these cats. So yeah, Nala in that way, she's very special, and she is she's my emotional support animal basically.
It sounds like it's went the other way. When Willa arrived, Willa needed the help, but when Nala arrived, you needed the help.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's a good way to think of it and put it, because that's exactly, and it's like it goes back and forth. We obviously care and love for our animals so much, and it's like we get that in return from them. They're so loyal and loving, and I can't say enough about how much these three cats have changed my life in the most unexpected but best of ways. And now I get to stay home and create, film their funny little antics, and just take cute photos and things like that. And I couldn't be happier with what I'm doing, and that I get to do what I'm passionate about. I never thought that this would become a passion of mine, or I never thought I would be the crazy cat lady, if you will. But wear that proudly. And so, yeah, they deserve so much of our love because they give so much to us.
If you don't mind talking about that mental health experience,
Yeah.
what was it like realizing that Nala was so important to supporting you through that? Because you said you hadn't had cats growing up. You've created this bond with Willa. You've taken Willa through a tough time and given a wonderful home. So I mean, there's nothing in that background that says, "Oh, by the way, this cat can help heal you."
Right. And yeah, like exactly. So, you'll see like emotional support animals come into people's lives for that specific um purpose and intent, and that's amazing. But to see her naturally, I guess, gravitate towards me and support me, I mean, it makes me emotional still. Like it's incredible how smart they are, how they can sense that, you don't have to be sitting crying on the couch for your animal to know that you might not be feeling well or you had a bad day. It's like they can just sense it, and they know you from you being their owner. And so it really is just one of those things where yeah, it's still to this day, I just think about it often. I'm amazed every time I'm sitting there and she'll come up on my lap and she'll just make me smile, and just comfort me and calm me. And just to have that calming presence, really, it's the best therapy.
So we're at cat number two there. Cat number
Yes.
three, the one that you said, "Oh, we had to have a third cat." Talk me through that process because well, you have two cats. The cats have their favorites, but know that the other one will support them. You're both getting the support from the two of them as well. It sounds like you had everything in balance. Why throw in a little chaos bunny?
Yeah, I don't know. We love cats. I mean, I'm a crazy cat lady. What can I say? I don't know that we'll stop at three. No. But yeah, and I think it's fun too to see the way the cats interact and bond. And they're very much social animals, I think, when people might not always expect that. And they kind of like to have that little buddy. So to throw Bella into the mix was definitely such a great decision for our family. And she's now 2 years old. We've been dealing with a little bit of health stuff with her lately. And so um, just kind of, again, throwing back into the mix of, yeah, just kind of having to nurse her back to health a little bit. But yeah, she's been the greatest addition to our family.
What about introduction? Because you've already introduced Nala to Willa, and sometimes that can go smoothly with cats. And you're nodding at me, so it's like great, no story there, lovely. That's going to help the podcast. What about with Bella coming in with Nala and Willa? How was that introduction process?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was like so nervous to introduce Willa to Nala. It literally, I don't know, other cat people have probably been there, but it is like one of the most stressful things because cats are very territorial. They're very, smell oriented. They like their space. It's not like introducing two dogs or a dog and a puppy. So it's definitely a process you kind of have to take slow. And so luckily we were able to just put Nala um, in the other room with kind of some of her stuff and let Willa, with the door shut, and let Willa smell through the door and just kind of realize, hey, there's someone new here. And then we slowly kind of open that door. We put like a baby gate up, but Nala was not having the gate. She ran and jumped, and the gate just toppled right over onto Willa, actually. So it was quite the scene. I got it on video too, but like I was like, this is not going great. The gate did nothing. But no, it's just one of those things where you kind of see how your cats react and behave and what's making them feel comfortable in the moment and not super stressed out adding, another cat. So we just kind of took it slow and had her in the other room. And then after a few days, when we felt that Willa was comfortable, kind of let Nala explore everywhere. And, from there, they just kind of got used to each other and the different smells between the two of them. And yeah, before we knew it, they were cuddling. So it just takes a little time, that introduction, but it definitely can be, yeah, it's definitely more of a process than introducing other animals. But it's just it's who cats are, and they need that, so that's okay.
So, with that learned experience, what happened bringing Bella in? Because you now have a sort of 2 to 1 aggressive ratio. There's a nice word that fits in there. Whoever's listening, use that word. But you've got to introduce 2 to 1 and 1 to 2.
Yeah, no. So we kind of just did the same thing. We, obviously had some kind of learned from that first meeting of Willa and Nala. And so yeah, we just kind of did the same, the same thing. So we put Bella in her own room. The other two cats, Willa and Nala, were outside the door, sniffing under the door. They'd put their paws under the door like they wanted to play. But if we open the door, there'd be some hissing back and forth, and things like that. And then you just kind of know that, I mean, for me, I had to learn that the hissing is natural because when I was like, I've never heard Willa hiss before. And then when she did, when she first met Nala, I was like, oh my gosh, this is this is scary, but it's all a part of the process. And they're just, they can be a little scared, a little intimidated, threatened to have someone new in their space. Like I said, cats can be territorial. So just learning that part of it and knowing that that's okay and that's kind of natural. So yeah, we did the same thing with Bella, introducing slowly. And then after a few days, let her out of the room to explore the whole apartment. And the other cats kind of watched her because she was, as a kitten, they're super rambunctious. And so they were like, what is this thing running around and, on all of our cat trees and stuff. But yeah, after like a day or so, and they just get used to each other's smells, it seems like they integrate really well.
And how did the introduction between Willa, Nala, and Bella go to Andrew when it's like 3 to 1 at that point?
Yeah, it went good. I mean, it was nice to have Andrew there. Like one of us could be in the room, the other with the other two, because, the other thing is we wanted to make sure that Willa and Nala were receiving just as much attention and, their normal routine as Bella, just to kind of make the transition as smooth as possible. And so it was nice to have like one of us in the room with Bella and then one of us out with Willa and Nala and just kind of dividing our time equally. So divide and conquer.
It does feel, I mean, there's no such thing as a textbook for cats, but it does feel like it's a well worn path that you didn't have too many issues. I mean, you probably had little tiny issues, but there's nothing here that's out of the ordinary for introducing cats.
Yeah, no, I think that as far as introducing cats, it went pretty smoothly. And I think, we just, like I said, we did some research, and I, asked other people who have had cats, and kind of the consensus was just to take it at their pace and to take it slow. Like, don't just throw them all into a room at once and, for the first meeting. Like, that's just not ideal and probably not going to go great. So, yeah, just kind of doing our research and, um, you know, kind of paying attention to how the cats react to is really important and what they're telling us. Um, and just, yeah, taking it at their pace.
Now, the other thing you mentioned there was, you can now stay at home doing that thing you do.
I'm a content creator and in the cat space. So all of the content, whether it be videos, photographs, um, it's all about our cats, our three cats. And so I basically started a TikTok account just kind of for fun. And I started posting videos of the cats just being funny and crazy. And a couple of videos took off. And this was around the time that I was dealing with some, again, some mental health stuff. And so it was kind of therapeutic just to like laugh and be able to record the cats being silly and doing their thing. So I started to post those videos, and a couple of videos took off, and we gained a following on TikTok in particular pretty quickly. Um, And so I was like, oh, maybe I can, make something of this. We had a couple like pet brands reach out to me, and to like partner together where they send me a product to try out and review and create a video with, and post the cats using the product, or like if it's a toy, or just talking about like a litter box and whatnot. And so from there I just kind of realized, hey, maybe I can do this, and I can do what I love, which is spending time with the cats, learning about the cats. The cats, like I said, our cats make me laugh every day, and so to be able to put that out there, and I know that our content makes others laugh, which makes me so happy, because if I can bring joy to someone else's day through just these amazing animals, then I feel like I've done my job almost. That's what I enjoy doing, is connecting with others and showing them how amazing cats can be. And so, yeah, that's kind of what we do. We have a TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and yeah, I've gotten to work with a lot of cool brands. Anything from like vacuum, like a pet vacuum company, to pet food companies. And I love making those connections, and, with other animal lovers, and like sharing some of our favorite cat products, and just opening that discussion with other pet owners and cat lovers online. Like, it's just such a great, fun community to be a part of.
Did that open doors to anything you weren't expecting?
Yes. So I actually have a Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology, believe it or not. Um, and, I graduated college not knowing really what direction I wanted to take that, if I wanted to go back to school, like a lot of graduates. And so I worked at like a chiropractic office for a little bit. I come from a sports background. I played hockey through college. So working at a chiropractic office was fun, and it was a great experience. And then it was kind of after that that we had the cats, and I started my journey with content creation, and just really dove into that full time. So yeah, it's definitely the most unexpected road, but in the best way, and I think that's where it's like, some of the best things in life come unexpectedly, and this is a great example for me, just to see I didn't know where my path was gonna take me, and then here these animals come into my life, and yeah, I just had no idea. But I get to do what I love every day with them, and what I'm passionate about, and I could not be more happy.
I mean, it's an experience like no other having a cat, and it's an experience like no other having a cat that can help you have a career.
Absolutely. Yeah. And yeah, I owe it all to our three cats, honestly. Like, obviously I wouldn't be doing this without them, and they just make me so happy, and everything I do is for them. They're our babies, and I yeah, they amaze me every day.
And then another day, and then another day, and then
And
another
every
day.
day,
It's like, what's going to happen
all the days,
tomorrow? Good question.
right?
What
You
is going
never
to happen
know.
tomorrow?
Yeah.
There will be cat pictures going up and videos and all of that. So I need to put a link, and you need to tell everybody where we can find more about them and watch all these antics.
Yeah, so Tabby and Tuxedo Cat, that's our handle, at Tabby and Tuxedo Cat, on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. So you can find us. Those are the three most active platforms where we post our videos and photos. And yeah, we appreciate all the support. And again, I just love connecting with other cat lovers. So definitely reach out. And I love to talk about cats.
Well,
So
that's why you're on the podcast.
yeah.
Amazingly, I found a few people on the internet who like to talk about cats.
Right? Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Indeed. Allison, we will have links to all of those back up on our website, which is mycatstailpod.com, and in Facebook and Instagram and Twitter under the same handle as well. But for now, to you and Andrew, to Willa, to Nala, to Bella, what a wonderful life.
Yes, we love it every day. We're thankful for it. And yeah, we get to, wake up and do it all over again tomorrow.
Thank you very much for sharing your story and our story here on My Cat's Tale. It's been been a delight.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You've been listening to My Cat's Tale, a Spence Media production. Listen to more tales of our perfect pets at mycatstalepod.com and support us on Patreon.